Hey guys, in this video we're going to learn how to do debugging in Python. Usually we use debugging to keep track of the values of one or more variables. If we take an example here, we have a simple for loop to loop through the values from 0 to 9. Remember, in range this value is not included. So for I in range between 0 and 9. And then I say here x equals I times 3 just for the sake of demonstrating. And then we print the values of I and x. So let's assume that I'd like to keep track of the values of x, for example. If I run the loop, I get the values of I and x, I and x. As you can see here, I is multiplied by 3. And to do debugging in Python, it couldn't be easier. We just import the Python debugger, and then we say pdb. So I import pdb here, and I say pdb.setTrace. And what the debugger will do, it will stop executing there until we tell it to go to the next instruction. So if I run the code now, it basically does the importation, and then it does the first step, the second step, the third step. So it prints the values of I and x, 0, 0 in the beginning, and then it stops here. And now it's waiting for my instruction, and I can pass more than one instruction here. I can pass instruction to move on to the next line of code. So if I say n will move it to the next line of code. As you can see, just hit enter and it goes now to the next line of code, which is this line here. And if I say n, it goes to this line here. As you can see, the arrow is telling us where it is basically. Or I can say C to continue, and what C will tell it is it will go back and do all the instructions or all the lines of code until it reaches the set trace again. So if I do another n, it should print and move on to the beginning. But now it's at set trace. If I say C to continue, then it does one full round, as you can see, and it does the printing and it continues. So these are two useful things to remember: N for next line of code and C to continue until you hit the breakpoint. And if we'd like to, for example, let's assume I'm not printing out X and Y, X and I here. Let's assume that I'd like to know the value of X. Well, I can say X, and it tells me the current value of X is 6, or I, and it tells me the current value of I is 2. Nice and easy. I hope it makes sense. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.